Hi guys. Um, I'm going to be reacting. Well, actually, hold on. I should not even say that. First of all, I should say why I'm not reacting to Foxy or Freddy or whatnot. What I said I was going to, but there were horrible reactions, and all I did was just stare at the video like, what? It didn't really scare me or anything like that. So they weren't really good. So. Mm, Let's go with Five Nights at Freddy's, the sad story of the bite of 87 feet. I'm an evil black bunny in Joe, Joe Goji Fan 93. Alright, let's go.
Goddamn Fox.
It wasn't always like this, you know.
Mike jumped back, almost forgetting he didn't lock the door to the right to let Freddy in. He frowned, glancing at the video feed to make sure that Foxy had gone back to his place. Mike muttered, sitting back in his chair. Freddy sat in the chair opposite of him and rubbed his neck.
I knew he can't stand him running around all the time, but he suffered way more than any of us.
Mike looked up from the feed and began to frown. How so? What happened to him?
Tell me, Mike, you ever been here before 87?
My mom brought me when I was still a baby. Had to leave because I sped up on my mom's sister, which she told me she was happy about because she had an excuse to not be around her.
So you never saw Pirates Cove?
Mike then shook his head in response. Nope.
Well, Pirates Cove looked a lot like that cave from that Goonies movie you brought over the other day. It had a treasure chest, powder blooms, a cave-looking wall, and some lights on the bottom of that. It had this really neat effect that made it look like water was reflected off the floor.
Mike sighed a little bit, knowing that the bear was feeling a little bit of nostalgia. Wow, that sounds cool. The joke caused the bear to laugh a little bit.
Well, anyways, on top of having all that fancy stuff on stage, he also had a pirate ship. And just like most pirate ships, the front of it had a very pretty mermaid in front of it. Except his had a mongoose in front of it.
Mongoose?
Mongoose. Freddy gave Mike a very stern look for interrupting him. Mike simply apologized, and then the bear smiled and continued.
I know it was kind of an odd choice of animal, but our creator was kind of odd like that. His name was Charles, but that's a whole nother story. Anyway, her name was Mary, and the whole thing was that she and Foxy were kind of a comedic duo together. She was a sassy one, and she would make jokes at his expense all the time. His response was simply just making fun of our performance or her singing. And there was a few times he would just shamelessly flirt with her on stage, right in front of the children too.
Mike bit his lip, trying not to be disgusted by the last comment. But at the same time, he just couldn't imagine the pirate being anything but crazy. Mike sat back for a second and thought about when he was looking up the place for the job, remembering the images that would pop up. I think I remember seeing a mermaid on some old art on the internet. What happened to her? Did she break down? Was she deemed unpopular?
Oh no. She and Foxy were basically one act together. No way did they want them separate. Besides, this was way before Chica was given any speaking lines whatsoever. She was basically the main character for the female demographic. Her animations were not too complex or anything, and she didn't break down as easily as Bonnie. So she wasn't scrapped for technical reasons.
So why'd they get rid of her?
It had to do with the bite.
You mean the one where Foxy chomped on a guy's head?
You gotta understand, Mike. We love children. We're not too fond of adults, but we love children.
Freddy glanced up at an old poster on the wall advertising birthday parties.
You see, Mike, even though I'm the main star of the whole show,
I messed on my nose.
Foxy and Mary were quite the dynamic duo, and a close second to me but sometimes I felt like they should have been the mascots.
So if you guys loved kids so much, wouldn't Foxy have not hurt some guy? I don't think your creator would be okay with you guys attacking people randomly.
Mike looked down at the camera, feeling a little bit at ease seeing that Chica was guarding Pirate Cove at the time. But he looked up to be met with an angry look from Freddy.
Mike, what do you know about the bite of 87?
Well, I was still too young, but from what I researched after hearing the guy on the recorder mention it, they said that Foxy's support beams have broken, making him lean over and accidentally bite a chunk out of some guy's head off.
Foxy loves kids, Mike. He loves them more than I do. You see, the manager at the time knew that we were alive. So on the weekends after closing time, he would sneak his daughter in so she could come visit us. Her name was Julia. She had this terrible allergic reaction to the sun and was homeschooled by her mother, so she was extremely, extremely lonely. The manager actually trusted us with her and let us babysit her. He would even turn on some games so we could play together. She loved us all, but she cared about Foxy the most. She talked about him all the time and couldn't wait to see him. Eventually, she was cured of her condition and was able to visit us night and day.
How would
She
she be
started
cured
going
of
to
it?
school though, so she still needed our support. But then that day came. Like, do you ever just look at someone and sense that something's wrong about them?
Yeah, the guy that gave me this job when I first began, along with some guy I knew in high school. Why?
Julie was invited to a birthday party hosted here. Though it was her 5th time invited, it still made her so happy. She was close to the stage when this man appeared. He tried to kidnap her, Mike, but Foxy was there to stop him.
Freddy then paused when Mike held his hand up to stop him for a second.
Wait, you're telling me Foxy bit a chunk of a creepo's head to save a little girl? That's awesome. I take back every bad thing I said about him. Wait, what happened to Mary?
Oh dear. What happened?
That is
What
the
happened to
saddest
Mary?
part of all, Mike. You see, they thought the attack was just a glitch within Foxy. They didn't know the actual condition of us being able to move around on our own, having our own free will almost. So when they brought a repairman over to try to fix Foxy, he didn't have the faintest idea what to do. He didn't know anything about the original plans our creator made. So he did the only thing he knew how to do. Take apart another design and see what made that one work. And he chose to literally dissect Mary the mongoose. He experimented on Mary so much that he couldn't even put her back together after he was done examining her. And he just left her there, broken into pieces. And that's when Foxy was reactivated. The first thing he laid eyes on was Mary's robotic remains spread all over the floor.
That's really sad, actually.
He literally lost himself, Mike. He pretended to be broken down so he would not have to perform anymore. And the owner just eventually put the out of order sign in front of Pirates Cove. The only signs of any sort of movement from him is regular outbursts he has at any security guards that come out here.
And his coat? What? His coat? In all the ads and posters that have been around, Foxy had a coat on? What happened to it?
I don't really know, Mike. I just don't know.
While the conversation between Freddy and Mike was going on, Chica went to check on Foxy again.
Foxy? You need to stop attacking Mike, Foxy. Freddy likes him. Hell, Bonnie and I like you too. So please, stop trying to hurt him.
Foxy, as always, just ignored Chica. He got up from his dusty seat and made his way to the bow of the ship. Placing his good hand on the wood, he sighed, looking up, where he placed his coat over the oar of the ship. He shuddered at the glimpse of Mary's once lively green tail, now completely lifeless. He glanced over the curtain where he knew Chico was standing, waiting for some sort of response from him. Then he looked down at the keyboard that once controlled all the pearls and gems that would illuminate during his show. He shook his head and looked back at his coat, wondering if he would ever wear it again. He mustered up all the strength he had left to say one single sentence.
I miss Mary so much.
Hey guys,
Oh.
Meet the Hamster here.
The
Just
hamster.
hoping you guys could do me a big favor and check out the two people who helped me out with the following story you just heard. First off, we have the biggest and best Godzilla fan on YouTube right now,
I
Goji
gotta
Fan.
stop because of music, so. Oh my god. Okay. That was my reaction to Five Nights at Freddy's The Sad Story of the Bite of 87. So, yeah. Bye guys. I'll be back in a little bit. What do you think of my costume? Makeup. Ears. Well, they're not cat ears. They're horrible cat ears. I don't know who made them. Whatever. Well, bye.